7:36 here on Good Morning Ulster. Now, the sister of a Londonderry man who contracted hepatitis C after being given infected blood products as a child says she wants to give her late brother a voice when she gives evidence to the public inquiry into the contaminated blood scandal.
Christina MacLaughlin is due to give her evidence on Thursday. Her brother Seamus died last May, 6 months after being diagnosed with liver cancer. The father of one was 45 years old. Thousands are believed to have been infected with HIV and hepatitis viruses through contaminated blood products. The public inquiry into the NHS scandal started last year and is hearing evidence in Belfast this week from people affected in Northern Ireland.
Seamus Conway was born with haemophilia, which affects the blood's ability to clot. His family say he was infected when he was 11 and believe his eventual liver cancer diagnosis was a direct result of having hepatitis. Christina MacLaughlin says her brother was gagged by shame over what had happened to him, and her family feel they now have to fight for him. Christina has been speaking to Elaine McGee.
Unfortunately, Seamus can't speak for himself, and neither can Michael, my cousin, Michael Birtles. So we hope to hopefully do them proud and, speak for them and let the world know what they've had to endure and what they suffered before they died.
Are you nervous about giving evidence?
Not at the minute, but that could change. I always feel that I either get very angry or I get very emotional, and I'm hoping not to get too emotional because although it'll be a very emotional time, also because Seamus actually died a year ago next week. So his anniversary is coming up and we can place ourselves every minute of every day. So on the Thursday I know exactly what I was doing. I was sitting beside his bed while he was dying. So I don't want to get too emotional because he needs me to speak in his favour and make sure that people know what he's been through. And, I don't want to be a blubbering mess. I just want to be strong, and so I'll keep the anger for now.
It's a big responsibility, isn't it, being somebody's voice?
It is, yes. I think all as siblings, we all feel that responsibility on our shoulders at the minute. We're a private family. This is not something we take lightly. But you'll see if you look into the list of the hearings that there's a lot of oral evidence being given, and it has to be given anonymous. So there's still a lot of families in that position where they can't speak out, and put their face to it. However, we can. So we will, and we have been asked to do it on behalf of other families who have to stay anonymous. I went over to the hearings. Seamus had only passed about 6 weeks, and not the hearings, but it was the beginning of the inquiry and the announcement of it. And I went over my son and myself, and I walked on the door, guns blazing. If anybody tells me that Seamus didn't die because of this Hep C, I'm ready to, voice as speak for him. But I didn't get that. I went in, and when we were explaining what had happened with Seamus and Michael, people were saying, no, we know, we understand. And just that feeling of somebody saying, we understand was enough, because everything's a fight. We're constantly fighting to prove, first of all, their haemophilia suffering, prove that the hepatitis is the thing that's killing them.
What do you think Seamus would make of you doing this?
Well, unfortunately, per Seamus, I will explain it like this. They gagged them. They gagged all of them with shame when they were diagnosed. Don't tell anybody you have this virus. Don't tell your family or friends. So these poor people were thinking, I have something dirty in me and I can't tell anybody. Seamus was 11. He was a child. I think he was about 16 when he was actually told he had it. So his understanding was that I have this dirty thing, don't tell anybody. So right up until pretty much a couple of weeks before he died, he was still in that mindset, oh gosh, don't tell anybody because people will think. And then he got very angry, which I didn't really want to see, but he did get very angry, and he says, they did this on me. And I says, yes, they did. They did this on you. As I said before, you die once in this life, and Seamus's death was horrendous. And only for us being there as his family, at least we were afforded that. My cousin's family didn't even get that. Because he's not just the person that died of hepatitis C and had haemophilia all his life. Seamus was an excellent snooker player, as we have said before. And, everybody says Seamus was quiet. I've met people that say, I never knew Seamus to be quiet. He was full of crack. He was jovial all the time, always having I mean, you didn't have a fault because he would have picked it out and had a wee laugh and, bit of crack. And we miss that, like. Yeah. We miss that about him. I think he'd be very pleased that his family is fighting his corner. I mean, he's left his wee daughter, Jennifer, and he adored her, and she adored him, and she should still have her daddy here. So she at least maybe we unfortunately people die of cancer every day and they don't get to fight or get an explanation as to why. So I suppose we have to fight it for him.
What do you want? Is there any explanation or answer that would help you and your family?
Wow, I've thought of this often. I would love to say that there's, I could tick a box and if they cover that, then I would be happy. I have a son of 16 years of age who's severe haemophiliac, and I need to know going forward that he's safe. So that's what I would like. I would like trust back, but I don't know.
Christina MacLaughlin there remembering her brother Seamus Conway and talking about her concern for the future with Elaine McGee.